Hi, it's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with Mr. Bernie Pollock of Pollock Automotive. They're an award-winning automotive repair shop in Vancouver, BC. How are you doing today, Bernie?
I'm doing well.
So we're going to talk about BMWs and maintenance on BMWs. Is there something unique about BMW maintenance?
Well, somewhat the same as other cars and somewhat unique. First of all, our featured car for today is this beautiful 2011 550iX X-Drive. It's an amazing vehicle, twin turbo engine, all-wheel drive, moves incredibly quickly, sticks to the road. But like with all technology, it's great to have it, but routine maintenance is what's going to keep it running and keep the repair cost to a minimum over time. That's especially important with a high-priced vehicle like a BMW. So yeah, BMW has had, I'm going to start talking about the maintenance reminder system. We'll talk more about that as opposed to the sort of specific maintenance requirements today. So the maintenance reminder system, BMW for several decades has used a reminder system. If you've owned a BMW, you're probably familiar with it has I believe it's like 5 green lights and a couple of yellow ones, and they change from 5 lights when the oil is good to lesser lights as time goes by. And it was not a very, the system worked and kind of simple to reset. You change the oil, use one of these tools that I have in my hand here, click a couple switches, and turn the ignition on a certain way, and it resets the light. So that's kind of the old simple system that BMW had for several decades.
So yeah, I remember having a BMW and having that light system, and it was not intuitive in any way, shape, or form. I think I looked at the owner's manual to try and figure out what the heck all these lights were telling me, and then I just brought it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most intuitive system, but once you figure it out, it makes sense. So with newer BMWs, they went to a much more sophisticated maintenance system. It works with that iDrive button on the console, and you can scroll through for various maintenance items. So I'm just going to pull up a picture here of that item and put it up on the screen here from this BMW. Just waiting for this to work. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, so here's the this is the iDrive system, and so basically you can see it actually explains, it has engine oil, brake fluid, rear and front brake pads. So it's actually a lot more useful. It tells you actually how many miles you've got left. If you click on these various items, it'll tell you need to flush the brake fluid at a certain time, the brake pads at a certain interval, and this is all now reset with a scan tool. So it's so there's a lot more information there, and yeah, I mean, they've done a good job with the, what BMW's done. They've taken all the critical service items and put them on the display, and then with the convenience of having tire pressure monitoring and these maintenance reminder lights, you can almost drive your car and not really worry about anything until a light comes on and tells you to do something, and that's kind of the whole idea behind this.
So that sounds a lot better. Does it cover everything?
Well, no, it doesn't. There's a lot of things that it doesn't cover, things like transmission fluid, other drivetrain fluids, what else? Cabin air filter, engine air filter, and these are things that they're not covered, and you'd find them by doing regular maintenance inspections. Things like steering and suspension components. If you just choose to follow that drive indicator, or the warning system indicator, you'd forget about a lot of these things without having regular service on the car. So it's still extremely important to have a comprehensive inspection on the car. I say, once a year, once the car is 5 years old, and to make sure that, check the condition, see what's good, see what's not, and see what needs to be done.
So I know that BMWs have really long service intervals, 24,000 kilometers or so. So what do you think of that?
Personally, I think it's too long. I mean, obviously the engineering departments, and this BMW is not the only manufacturer that does that, but the engineering departments have obviously figured, hey, the oils that we recommend are good enough to last this amount of time. The filters are good. So you can do that. But I think, you know, when we change oil, it's that old, it really is disgusting. I mean, it doesn't smell like oil anymore. It's I don't think the quality of the lubrication is as good as it could be. And I think you're taking a risk. But, you know, with the new car, it's an easy sell at the dealership. Hey, you know, the car only needs service every 24,000 kilometers, and look at all these buttons, and you can just basically hop in your car and drive it. But really, I think like a more realistic interval is probably every 15,000 kilometers. I think that's a good compromise between what the manufacturer recommends and keeping the oil in reasonably good shape. You know, and if you drive less than that, you should still change it on a yearly basis, unless you only drive 5,000 kilometers a year. But not many people fall into that category.
So any final thoughts about BMWs or vehicle maintenance?
Well, couple things. I mean, just generally, a lot of manufacturers, they stretch the maintenance intervals out, not just BMW. As I was saying, I mean, I think the 24,000 kilometers is a little too long. You know, and I think just to remember that the car manufacturers are in the business of selling cars. They don't really want you to keep your car for 20 years, but cars are built so well nowadays. You can easily get 15 or 20 good years out of a car if you take good care of it. So I'd do the maintenance a little sooner. I mean, it's great having the maintenance reminders, and they seem to be very accurate for things like the brakes. So you don't you don't have to worry about that too much. You're not wrecking your brakes. You can see the reminder. But I would say do it sooner. You know, manufacturing cars is an extremely high carbon footprint. Few people think about that, but if you can make your car last for 20 years, it's a whole lot better for the planet, and uses a lot less resources. So it's kind of what we do at our business. We keep people's cars running, save money, and keep the planet healthier, if that's possible with automobiles.
Thanks, Bernie. Bernie Pollock from Pollock Automotive. Just get my camera switching again here. So we've been talking with Mr. Bernie Pollock, Pollock Automotive. They're 15-time winners of Best Auto Repair in Vancouver, as voted by their customers. Just recently won again the Georgia Strait Award in Vancouver. You can reach them at 327-7112 in area code 604, or go to their excellent website, pollockautomotive.com. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark. Talk to you next week.
Yep.